Hey everybody, it's Erin Reed from Erin Reed Makes, and today I'm going to go over my top 5 favorite card making tools of 2020. Some are oldies but goodies and some are brand new. All supply links that you can find for the tools I am showing you are down in the information section, but without further ado, let's jump in and I'm going to show you my favorite card making tools of 2020. So my first favorite product for 2020 is my mini maker. This is from Maker's Movement. It is perfect if you're a card maker because of the size of it. It is nice and portable. It is small. I mean, you can look at its size versus my hands. And it comes with 4 plates. So you get 2 B plates, an A plate, and the metal plate. And to do die cutting, which is what I mostly use it for, if you were gonna do embossing, you'd use the 2 B plates, then you would place this. Now, why do I like this one? Because I have had other small die cutting machines in the past, purely for the size. So number 1, the plate itself, I have a nice wide plate. Number 2, the width of it. I can get 3 inches on here. So some of the other ones I've seen are only 2.5 inches, and you might be like, well, that ½ inch, not a big deal. It really is. And it cuts through like no problem. I absolutely love it. The other thing I like to do is I like to set up more than one thing on here at a time so I can fit a lot of products and a lot of projects on this at one particular time, which I think is awesome. I've cut through felt, I've cut through double-sided foam, that's an adhesive foam, obviously paper, thick paper, thin paper, it all works great. So this is my first pick, the Mini Maker by Maker's Movement. All right, my next crafty tool that I absolutely loved in 2020 is my magnetic sheets. Now, this is the one I started with, and this is from Stamp and Storage, and it's got a cardboard backing to it, which I love, so it just makes it a little bit more sturdy, but truly any magnetic sheet. I like to put all my dies on it whenever I'm making cards because some of those little dies are so super tiny. So as I'm creating a card, I'll pull all the dies out that go with that set. They may be attached, they may be unattached, but they're all in one place, and then I can find them super easy. They're not lost on my desk. And obviously, because they're magnetic, they don't fall off. So you don't need a very big one, you just need a small one, and it's just for the project I am currently working on. And then I can see them all too. I can be like, oh, well, I forgot I had that one in that set, or whatever it might be. This one came from close to my heart. It's a little more floppy, but it came free whenever you buy a die set. So there's been a couple of die sets where I was actually able to put, combine them together because they were a package, or I didn't need it because I had one small little one that I combined somewhere else. So I had a couple extra left over. So now I have a couple of different sheets. This one's a little floppier, like if you can kind of look, I can hold it. So, but this one came free with a die, this one I had to purchase. So it just depends on what you're looking for, but magnetic sheets are awesome. So this is my second pick for 2020. All right, the next one's an oldie but a goodie, and that is a washi tape. Now, there is a purple tape, which is a really quick release tape, but I also use washi tape for this. So once you've stamped and colored an image, you want to place your die down and you want to make sure it doesn't move around. This is not a new tool or a new thing in any way, shape, or form. And I found plain old washi tape, or if you want to get the purple tape, this is from ThermoWeb, they both work great. So it really just depends on what you're available. I have a ton of washi tape. I will say sometimes the washi tape pulls up around. So if I'm worried about tearing my paper on the around it, then I might go with the purple tape. If I'm just worrying about the image, I just make sure I tape on the outside. So it's super simple. So that also leads into other tools because you're stamping and coloring. I think markers are awesome. I do love my Copics, but I also have been using my Arteza Everblend markers, and I think they're fantastic. A good stamp block and also a good black ink. I do love my close to my heart inks. Number 1, they don't smear, they don't bleed. Second of all, they have a magnetic closure, which I think is absolutely fantastic. So because it's magnetic, they also stack with the other ones. They are nice. They seal so they don't dry out, and you don't have to worry about the fact. You can also flip it upside down and it sits, so you can sit it on there, and therefore it's open for you. And you don't have to worry about where's my lid, because it's just right underneath it. And then you just pop it back on, and you are set to go. So it makes it really, really simple. So this is kind of a 3-in-1 deal, or actually a 4-in-1 deal, because not only is the washi tape or the purple tape, which is an easy release tape, your markers, your stamp block, and your ink, they really do all go together. So this is my third pick for 2020. All right, my next pick is this pokey tool. So this is actually a dissecting probe because I used to teach high school biology. And at the time I was doing a lot of crafting. And as we were doing all of our dissections and stuff, while we got to that part at the end of the school year, I was noticing that this little tool was awesome. So I bought a set from the school because Amazon wasn't really a big thing back then. And since then I've been able to find them on Amazon. It is so super cheap. And these little guys have lasted me 11, 12 years, 13 years, something like that. It's pretty awesome. What I originally used it with was an old mouse pad, and I was poking holes in paper so I could put brads in, and it poked through wonderfully. I like the handle on it. I could clean it because this is stainless steel, so it really got clean well. I would also use this to help poke holes in some of my glue bottles if they got stuck. I mean, you name it. Now it's morphed into an even better tool for card making because we all have those dies where we die cut them and the paper just kind of gets stuck inside of there. And so that's what all these little holes are for. So you can go in, and this fits perfectly, and you can just kind of go through and you can poke out all those little bits that you need to poke through, and then your piece can come out. So you can, it fits nicely. It's not super small. It's also not super pointy. There's some that are out there that are really, really hard and pointy. And then I can use it to also poke through and get all the little bits and pieces out of the dies that maybe just are a little stubborn because they're small, which that's just kind of the nature of some of the dies and some of the die cuts because they're so intricate. So you can just kind of use this to poke it all out. So there it is, completely cut. And then I can also use it to clean out my die because maybe there's leftover bits of papers. So I can use that to kind of poke it through and make sure that all the little bits have gotten out of there. So it's kind of quote unquote clean again. Oh, got a couple more. So this is my fourth pick for 2020. All right, my next one is adhesive. So you can't make cards without having a good adhesive. And I do kind of switch between all of these. And so these are my Xyron Mega Runner and Tape Runner. The hold on them is fantastic. I absolutely love it. I've been using them for years, and I think they are just bar none one of the easiest and best ones. The best part I like about it is just the ease of being able to replace and just redo and put in a new cartridge. It's as simple as you take it out, the old one, this is a new one, you pop it in. Super, super simple. It's the same with little guys. You take this part out, you pop in the new one, and you are set and done. Now, both of these tape runners have what's called a dot system, which means, open up your little piece right there. It just means that as you apply your adhesive, you get these series of little dots. There you can see right there. And they're only gonna land wherever you have a product. So let's say I wanna add tape to just this little piece right here, but I go over, guess what? I don't have little stringies hanging off because it didn't leave a long strand. It's little dots. It's the same thing for the big one. They're also a dot system. It's just this one that happens to be a little bit wider, and there's a lot more in the big guy. Plus you get the handle. So it's just preferable about which size you like. This one lasts a little bit longer, so I tend to do this if I'm gonna make a lot of projects. But this little guy is super handy, and it fits in your hand really nicely. The last one I like to use a lot, especially with stamp and die cuts or small little intricate die cuts, is my sticker maker. This is the 3-inch. So just pulling the little piece that we got from last time, you can pull this little guy out, pop it out, and you pull through. And then you tear off. And then you just kind of rub, and you pull off the outside plastic piece right here. And then now you have turned this into a sticker, which is awesome. So I've already added it to this little card that I previously made. That's how I got this little piece on here. But what if I want to add a little something on the inside? So you pull it off, and you might get some little cobwebs on here. There's a trick. Let me show you. So I'm going to put this thing right here, just like that, a little something on the inside. And then all I do is I take my finger and I just kind of rub through, and it gets all that little extra adhesive off, and you just kind of wipe it away, and all the extra adhesive is now gone. So you don't have to worry about if you got intricate dies, it'll still come through. So you can see it much better on the front side because it's an opposite color. I just want a little peekaboo hint right there, a little hiding of something on that inside of the card. This is my 5th pick for 2020. All right, and last, this is my bonus picks. I cannot create or craft without any of these tools. These are must-haves in my opinion. So what they are is they are a ruler. I think having a ruler is super important. I like this one. It's a good sturdy ruler. It's actually got a little bit of cork so it won't slide around in my paper. It also has centimeters and inches, and it's got it down to the 16th on here, which I think is super important, especially with all the fun fold cards and stuff that I make. A good pair of scissors. Sometimes you need to make a really quick little fussy cut. I love these particular scissors because they are on a hinge. So it really makes cutting easy because you just have to cut and then it springs back. So those with carpal tunnel, arthritis, or anything on those lines, these little Fiskars scissors are fabulous. I love them. Then there is your paper trimmer. I love this one because I can pull out the extendable arm and I can go all the way to 15 inches. So I can cut a nice big long sheet of paper, and I do use 12 by 12 sheets of paper quite a bit. I also like this one compared to some of the ones I've used in the past because the base of this goes to 6.5. So for card making, I don't always have to pull out the arm because I have a nice big base. Everything fits on here beautifully. The measurements on here are only in inches, but I can go all the way down to the 1/8 of an inch, which I think is pretty good. The blade comes out, it's got a point blade, which I think is pretty important, especially if you're trying to do intricate cuts and trying to cut into a piece of paper. Comparatively to a rotary blade, I find a pointing blade is so much better. I have also had a couple of times where my guide wire has broken on me. With this particular, I contacted Fiskars, I sent them a picture, they sent me a replacement at no cost. So it was like a lifetime guarantee, which I think is fabulous, and they have been super amazing. So I do love my paper trimmer. So not only to cut paper, but also to score. I snagged this scoring tool from a different scoring platform because once I have something I like, I just hang on to it and I love it. So I feel like I can measure exactly where I want to go. All I have to do is line it up and measure it. So because this has got the guide in here for the blade to go in to cut, it also creates the same guide for you to do your scoring. So you can score at so many different places, or you can cut. Cut's great. I know when I need to replace my blade because it starts to kind of fray at the ends, but for the most part, it cuts through basically everything I could possibly want to cut through with no problem. So the point I like to make about having the point tip blade versus rotary. So let's say I want to set this at 1 inch, but I only want to cut down to be at 2 inches. I can get exactly at that 2-inch mark. I couldn't do that with a rotary blade, which is why I like my point blade best. This is just neat on white cardstock, and look, it cuts through no problem whatsoever. And I can cut up or I can cut down. It really just depends on which direction, what I'm feeling more comfortable, or maybe the project I'm working on. These quills are kind of like a bundle. They're my bonus, but they are essential for if you are a card maker or just a crafter in general, scrapbooker, paper crafter. I would not be able to do what I do without any of these particular tools. So I absolutely love them. So this is my bonus pick for 2020. So thank you so much for joining me for my top 5 favorite card making tools, well, with a few extra thrown in there that I have loved for 2020. And really, truly, I love them from here on out until maybe there's another fun, amazing tool that comes out. All supply links are down in the information section. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again later. Bye, everybody.